week of November 20th, 2022. It is an optimistic kind of week. It is a week of shifting from the scorpionic energy definitively, because Venus and Mercury have already made the leap into Sagittarius, but definitively into Sagittarian season, as the sun will be moving into the sign on the 22nd. That is Tuesday in the earliest hours. And before he moves into Sagittarius, he gets a nice trine from the ruler of Sagittarius, Jupiter, who's over in Pisces. So even though the sun is at the end of Scorpio, he's connecting with Jupiter. So he's getting, remember last week, Venus did this and Mercury did this. He's getting a little bit of a, hey, you're almost there kind of thing from Jupiter. And also, too, with the sun in the latter degrees of Scorpio trining Jupiter, we can definitely make the most of the scorpionic intensity that we'd be feeling. So it's pretty good, even within the context of Scorpio season. Not that there's anything wrong with Scorpio season. Don't start writing the comments and stuff like that I'm busted on Scorpios. It's a fine season. But, we've had enough of it, especially because we got an early start with the Pluto station in early October. So we've had enough of it. We had the eclipses and everything. We can move into Sagittarius well enough. Then no sooner does the sun move into Sagittarius than we have the new moon in Sagittarius on the 23rd. That's Wednesday. And if you want a big burst of optimism, we also have a Jupiter station to go direct. He's been retrograding and he's going direct in Pisces, stationing on Wednesday also. Get this. The new moon and Jupiter station are 4 minutes of clock time. It's 4 minutes of time as we know it, not 4 minutes of arc, right? 4 minutes of time away from each other. So Jupiter station's right on the Sagittarius new moon. Even that we give a minute to the time, we're really talking Jupiter is stationed. We're just talking about the middle of his station. And the new moon, well, that takes some time because the disk of the sun and the moon pass each other. We're talking about the middle of it. So we're really talking about simultaneous events here, very simultaneous. If they happened on the same day or a day apart, that would be simultaneous enough. This is very simultaneous. The ruler of Sagittarius is stationing to go direct at the same time of the new moon in Sagittarius. What do you do with all this Sagittarian energy? Well, I would say Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, enjoy it. And then Thursday, especially in the US, where we have the Thanksgiving holiday, enjoy it some more. When it comes to Friday, you could enjoy it too. Don't spend too much, though. All that Sagittarian energy can really get you to think, wow, I'm going to go Christmas shopping. I'm going to spend everything. And while that might be fine and all that, I'm just suggesting, my Cancer moon is looking out for you. It doesn't want you to spend all your money. But it is that kind of optimism sort of feeling that is going to be pervading everything we do, which is, it could liable to some excesses in one way or another. If you want to be a little bit deeper about things, then I would say that, sometime on Thursday, it would be good to set intentions about where you would like to be, in the big picture, right? This is all Sagittarian energy. We're not worried about the details. Just think about the big picture. Where do you want to be in a year? Where do you want to be in 6 months? And it's Sagittarius. So really, what country do you want to be in? Where would you like to visit? What would you like to learn? What would you like to learn? Maybe it's astrology. You can visit the website there, armanddiaz.com, and maybe you'll sign up for something. That's a possibility. Just saying. It's not an advertisement. So, but what do you want to learn? Where do you want to go? Where do you want to explore? Big picture stuff, right? That's what you should do after this new moon Jupiter station. Beforehand, just enjoy. Just enjoy it. I would say, in practical terms, I mean, maybe the week before Thanksgiving in the US, I'm being very US centric here, but the week before, maybe there's not going to be a lot of stuff that gets done. Maybe you're starting to already be in holiday mode. That's good. And if you're not in the US and you're sort of feeling that you're not doing much and it's just kind of like we're coming into the new moon, it's Jupiter station, I feel good and doesn't really seem like a good time to work, that's fine too. You don't need to have the excuse of a holiday or anything like that to take a little time for yourself or to take the time to be with others. It's a fine time to be with others. It's a great, it's a nice social kind of energy. This is Jupiter stuff, upbeat, uplifting, loving it. Now, there's a downside, of course. This upbeat, uplifting energy works for everyone, right? Everybody gets a little bit of confidence. Everybody gets a little faith in the future. Works for you, but it also works for assholes. They also get this big burst of energy. Sagittarius can be rather polarizing. That is one of the consequences of too much Sagittarian energy, is that you get a big polarizing effect. People retreat into their belief systems and are a little bit less likely to be dealing with the facts. That's another consideration. So, we be aware of that too. As I always say, in the collective, you may get more hyperbole than usual, but how would you even notice it? Because there's so much to begin with. But we'll have to see. You should probably expect to see things getting kind of an extreme at midweek as people just say what's on their mind and whether or not it has any sort of a factual basis. And again, Mercury is in Sagittarius, so the fact checker is sort of not really at work this particular week. So we'll see. Make the most of it, have a good time, type of thing. Now, at the end of the week, we're heading now towards the 25th. We're looking at like Friday. Venus is going to square Juno. Venus square to Juno. Well, Juno is the partnership asteroid, and Venus has a lot to do with love and relationship and romance. Well, love and relationship. Let's just leave it at that. So when Venus is square to Juno, what we have usually is a conflict. This is an internal conflict because it's a square between what we have, Juno, and what we want, Venus, right? It's like, well, the question is, are they on the same page? What I've got and what I want. Is this working? That's sort of the question. That's like the thing that's going on. It's very internal, because it's a square. It's also worth noting that Juno is in Venus's favorite sign of Pisces, and Venus is in, well, it's not necessarily Juno's sign, but it's Juno's husband's sign, Jupiter, Juno, married. Well, obviously in mythology. Like in what? In what else would they be if not mythology? So they're in a kind of mutual reception, which means that things could probably be worked out favorably, right? In other words, there can be a little of conflict between what I got and what I want, but we're really speaking the same language here. This is unlikely to play out with other people. This is likely to be something that, you've got going on for yourself, and probably only some of us would be, really affected by this if it really lands on something in your chart. Otherwise, it'll probably just sort of slip past. And anyway, Venus then goes on to trine Chiron, which says, well, whatever I'm feeling bad about in terms of relationship, I kind of let it go for a little bit. So that upbeat energy continues. We are moving into a period of time that is going to be much more of this Sagittarian energy, much more Neptunian energy. I feel that more or less this is probably coming up here. This is a really good opportunity week. It is coming into the new moon, which suggests a bit of quiet, then coming out of the new moon, which suggests a little bit of not hesitation or caution, a little bit of patience. Well, when Sagittarius is the when Sagittarius is there, we're not really looking at a lot of patience. But I would say that this is a nice energy over the course of this week, the 20th to the 27th. And then there's still some more stuff. It's right around the beginning of December that the Neptunian energy starts to take over, and a little bit more. I mean, it's going to be pleasant, but a little more caution is called for in terms of practicalities. This week you can do things on a practical level if you're so inclined. But you could do things on a practical level, and you can also just kind of, be creative, enjoy yourself, and see what's going on. That's it. That's what I have to say about this week. And if you don't like it, I'll be back next week with something else.